It all, I will never fall. It's the Renaissance. You know that I got the mother sauce, man. You know I'm the boss. I know what it costs. Have you ever lost? I'm so versatile. Yeah, I'm a Renaissance, man. I can do it all. I will never fall. It's the Renaissance. You know that I got the mother sauce, man. You know I'm the boss. I know what it costs. Have you ever lost? I'm so versatile. Yeah, I'm a Renaissance, man.
Congratulations, brother. Hey.
And here we go. There you have it. Jadeveon Clowney will not be a New York Jet. In fact, he is going home to Carolina to play with the Carolina Panthers. Not gonna lie to you, man, I'm a little surprised. If I had bet money on this, and I really believed that this guy was gonna go ahead and be a New York Jet, I would have put money on it. I was literally so confident that I stated that I would have put my house on it that he would be a New York Jet. But Jadeveon Clowney is in fact not a Jet, regardless of the situation, regardless of the fact that he had an incredible meeting with the Joe Douglas at One Jets Drive. It just didn't pan out, and he goes home. Now, a lot of individuals, specifically a lot of the clowns, right, are going to start talking about, oh man, Jets, what happened? Y'all got played again, blah, blah, blah. But in all actuality, Jadavian, it makes a lot of sense when you think about it, right? We weren't going to go ahead and pay Jadeveon Clowney big money. This guy's a mercenary, was on a $2.5 million contract last year to play with the Ravens. We were looking to go ahead and bring him in as a mercenary to go ahead and pretty much kind of fill in the role of the Bryce Huff that we missed out on. So the fact that he chose the money to go home, I don't see it as being a spite. The Jets were not going to go ahead and overpay. All indications are, had the New York Jets, in fact, matched what Jadeveon Clowney got, he would have chose the New York Jets. If money wasn't an issue, right, and the deals were equal or the same, he was going to be a New York Jet. So Jadeveon Clowney, unfortunately for us, chose to go back home to Carolina. Now, I'm seeing this dire and gloom, and yes, I wanted Clowney. The thought of having him, the more and more I thought about it, to kind of bring into that rotation with our elite defensive line, another first rounder added to that defensive line, a guy who, and by all metrics, outperformed Bryce Huff last year. I thought it made a lot of sense, giving him the money to go ahead and come here again on a 1-year deal with incentives made all the sense in the world. We saw freaking Tyron Smith do it. We saw freaking Mike Williams, in essence, do it. I was keen on potentially having Jadeveon Clowney here as well on a mercenary deal, but it wasn't meant to be. But relax. Relax. This is still the New York Jets. We still have one of the best defensive lines in all of football. There's still plenty of depth here. So what do the Jets do now, right? And that's the question I see a lot of people are asking and seem to be concerned about. Let's be honest, okay? Jadeveon Clowney was good last year, like really good. If you look at all of his metrics in terms of pressure rate, sack rate, the dude was a freaking beast. I mean, and again, and not to mention, he was also a beast in the run game, which was going to be a huge benefit for, I think, our defensive line, who we saw at times struggle with stopping the run, and with guys like a Kane in the conference, guys like freaking Mostert, who seemed to have a resurgent season last year. I would like all the assistance possible to go ahead and stop the run. But I'm not going to trip over this because last year the New York Jets prepared for this season. When they decided they were not going to go ahead and sign Huff, they prepared for this season. They decided by all metrics that they were going to go ahead and I mean literally a first round pick, 10th overall pick, and invest it in a young guy like McDonald. So guess what? Guess what? This kid better be a stud this season. I'm talking about this guy has to replace the impact of a Bryce Huff. And he's going to have to show us he has a little bit more range in the run game than the fact that Bryce Huff apparently couldn't do it based off of what the Jets told us. So I'm at that point now where we invested such high capital in McDonald that it just makes all the sense for us to see what Will can do, right? Let's not forget, there's another first rounder by the name of Jermaine Johnson on the New York Jets roster who had a Pro Bowl caliber season last year. The kid's a dog, and he's going to be able to go ahead and get more reps as he goes into year 3. In all actuality, seeing what this kid can achieve as he continues to get better and grind year in and year out is not necessarily a bad thing. I don't think this is a bad thing that, oh my God, we're going to have to use some of our better defensive linemen more. Oh, shucks. I'm not worried about it. And again, I'm looking through Twitter and I'm seeing a lot of Jets fans really upset that he's not going to be a Jet. Relax, just relax. We have one of the best defensive line in all of football, and there's still some options to be had here. I actually heard on Jake Asman's show earlier today talking about potentially bringing in Reddick from the Philadelphia Eagles. A little bit on the older side. He thinks maybe a conversation between Joe and their GM could be had for bringing him in. They got Huff from us. You get an older guy like Reddick for minimal compensation. The guy is still playing at a good level. You know what I'm saying? Again, for a rotational role, he could go ahead and fit that hat, so to speak, of a Bryce Huff. Jadeveon Clowney would have been a nice shiny prize, but in all actuality, he was a want, not a need. And this is still one of the best defensive lines in all of football. So for me, I look at it and it's just one of those things where, yes, it's breaking news. Yes, it sucks because now, people are going to start wondering whether or not did he use us to go ahead and get more money from the Panthers. But let's be honest, right? The Jets weren't going to offer more than 1 year, right? And he got 2 from Carolina. 20 million up to, if I'm not mistaken, it's up to $24 million. That's some nice chunk of change, man. You're talking about anywhere from 10 to $12 million a year. One, we don't have it. We definitely didn't have that. There's no breakdown of yet what the guarantees look like. But in all actuality, the New York Jets were never in this conversation when it came to that kind of money for Jadeveon Clowney. And I don't think we should have been. I don't think we should have been in the conversation for that kind of money. Now, what are the options? Now, like I said before, I do like the Reddick aspect of what Jake said in regards to going to get him from the Eagles. I know right now there's been discussions of him being available in trade and whatnot. How much can it possibly cost? The guy is on the last year of his contract. He is a bit older. I think that's a viable solution to the depth piece you would need to add on the defensive line. And keep that in mind. We are looking for a depth piece to add at the defensive line position. We're still pretty deep when it comes to the defensive line across the board. And there's still this little thing called the NFL draft. We've got a couple of picks in the 4th round if we wanted to go ahead and take a swing at an edge rusher. The thing that I think we need to remember is the one thing we can't argue. As much as we might have our conversations about whether or not Coach Saleh is a legitimate coach, is the franchise being run the right way, the one thing we can all agree on is that defense is run the right way. New York Jets defense operates at a high clip. They know what they're doing when it comes to defensive players. And for me, as a Jets fan, I take solace in the fact that I think they could find somebody in the draft and go ahead and pretty much get this kid developed, trained up, and he can have some impact plays for us throughout the season. He doesn't need to be a freaking superstar and all-star. We've got other guys that are higher on the depth chart, other guys who have higher ceilings that we want to go ahead and see with more reps how they can potentially grow and take that next step at the NFL level. So I'm 100% okay with taking a flyer on a 4th rounder. We've got, I see Knob Craft talking about Draft Jenkins. I think that when it comes down to it, there are still options. Now, the one thing we absolutely cannot do, and that's use the 10th overall. Nope, let me rephrase that. The one thing we absolutely cannot do is waste a 1st round pick, any 1st round pick, in my opinion, on a freaking defensive end. You can't do it. You can't do it on an edge rusher. That to me would drive me insane. I'd lose my mind. I think I would have to take a flight out to New York, and me and Jody are gonna have to square up because I don't understand the logic. And yes, I understand defense is great, it's important, but we're already seeing it becoming by the NFL being belittled, right? Being devalued. They're putting more ownership and more onus on offense. So why in the world would we go ahead and yet again put another 1st round asset to the defensive line? I think it's overkill. I think it's overkill for a team that's seen, a top five defense, top three defense not achieve anything of merit in terms of wins. We have not gone to the playoffs. We have not competed for a Super Bowl. The defense, as good as it's been, has not reaped the benefits of having a elite top defense in the NFL. I've been on record as saying this before, and I will say it again. I am 100% okay with the New York Jets taking a step back defensively this season, as long as the offense can become average. We haven't had an average offense since Ryan Fitzpatrick was our quarterback. Let's put that into perspective. So for me, the first round, I don't care. I don't care. It has to go offense, preferably offensive line. I would be okay with wide receiver. You know what? I cannot believe I'm going to say this, but I'd be okay with Brock Bowers in the first round before I am okay with an elite defensive edge or another freaking cornerback or any defensive player whatsoever in the first round. That's how much, and I've been very vocal about my thought process on Brock Bowers, but at the very least, I can give credit to the fact that, you know what, at least the Jets are trying to make the offense better. I shit you not, I can't do it. I can't for the life of me look at this team doing anything with the defense and be okay with it. I will lose my mind, and I'm going to be live watching the draft that night, so you will see me lose my mind live. I just hope I don't swing at one of these monitors and break something. It's not their fault that Joe D would do something that now I'm seeing actual mock drafts coming out already. I'm not sure if they're being funny because you know how the Jets are easy to be trolled. People love to troll us just because we're the Jets. But people are actually talking about like, boom, slide in freaking one of the top defensive ends for the number 10 overall pick. And I think Joe D running his mouth, talking about, quarterback is possible, defensive, anything that can make us better is possible. I mean, I know it's a good thing because he's throwing on the blinders for anyone who's potentially listening. They don't know what we're going to do. But for the life of me, allowing individuals to now use that because we just took a swing and a miss on Jadeveon Clowney, I'm not there. I can't get there. I'm hoping the New York Jets don't make the mistake of going defense in the first round. But it seems like, at the end of the day, it is what it is, right? I think that we got to go ahead and give credit where credit is due. Joe D has done an incredible job thus far in free agency. I'm not gonna argue that. I think he's done a great job. Missing on Jadeveon Clowney because he didn't want to go ahead and overpay. I'm not mad about that. Let's be honest. The Panthers overpaid. They overpaid. I know how important it would have been to kind of have Clowney on this defensive line, again, because of what he can do in the run game, not to mention get after the quarterback, all elite. He did it at a high clip last year. And to be in this position, to be on this Jets defensive line as a rotational piece, on top of that, somebody who's going to go ahead and potentially have more leads with Aaron Rodgers running this offense, I'm so elated to see what this defense can actually do when it has a lead. Let's not forget, we've seen this defense be a top 3, top 5 unit over the last couple of years when this defense is actually meant to go ahead and go after the quarterback, which is kind of hard to do whenever you're behind all the time because you can't score points. So this defense can't actually just kind of pin their hair back, pin their ears back, and just go chase the quarterback because they got to go ahead and take into consideration plays that can run the clock out, right? So I'm looking forward to what this defense can actually achieve this year with Aaron Rodgers at the helm, giving them the opportunity to, one, stay on the sideline rested, because we know Rodgers can be freaking methodical and accurate and go ahead and take dinks and dunks to get down the field, giving our boys some rest. Imagine having fresh legs continuously going out there and going after a quarterback, man. I think Aaron Rodgers is not only going to be a great impact for us offensively, but he's going to be a great impact for us defensively, which I guess sometimes we kind of forget to kind of tie those two things together because we saw the defense do just fine with no offensive help over the last couple of years. Yeah, I agree with it. It would have been nice to have him, but I'm not losing anything over it. I'm not mad about it, and I completely understand it. You got all that money from the freaking Panthers, who, again, had to overpay to get him. And think about that. This is the team that had to overpay to get a player the Jets wanted. We were going to offer him significantly less, but they had to pay him to come home. Jadeveon Clowney is from South Carolina. To come home. They had to overpay to go ahead and bring him there. So for me, I'm going to take solace in that, is that they had to pay a tax to bring one of their own home to keep them away from the Jets, and that's fine. But the Jets not overpaying for this, I'm not upset about it. Y'all shouldn't be upset about it either. Yeah, I'm with you on this one. I think Reddick, if that's possible, it's a great consolation prize, because Jody has that relationship with the Eagles. They just got Bryce Huff. They've already said they're kind of like gauging the trade market for him. So if it's going to cost us, a fifth or a sixth to go ahead and bring him in and assume that last year of his contract, I don't think anybody here is going to be upset about that. But like I said before, the one thing the New York Jets can absolutely not freaking do is draft a guy in the first round to go ahead and add to this defensive line, or to this defense, period. So that's the breaking news. I mean, I want to kind of get out there and get in front of the camera real quick and just kind of spit out how I felt about it. If you guys are going to be on tonight, I'm going to be on the Jets Afterburners podcast tonight. So feel free to go ahead and log in. I think it's going to be 9 p.m. Eastern is kickoff time. So if you guys are kind of hanging around, we'll be on that show, probably talking about Jadeveon Clowney tonight as well. But just want to go ahead and share some breaking news with you guys. Let y'all know we officially lost out on Jadeveon Clowney. On to the next thing. At the end of the day, Joe D's done an incredible job thus far. I'm not mad about it. You shouldn't be mad about it. The Jets' defensive line is deep. It's elite. And we're going to be finally able to see what, the 10th overall pick from last year can actually do. Because, let's be honest, I kind of want to go ahead and see what this kid can do when we drafted him so high. So, ultimately, we're good. We still got a plethora of first-rounders already on our defensive line. I agree, no first-round picks on freaking on defense, Jason. If they do it, I am going to lose my mind. I've already decided I'm going to be pissed. I hope that's not the case. I hope we don't have to be angry here and me be live and act a fool and like a child, because I'll throw a tantrum if the New York Jets really go after a defensive player in the freaking first round. But yeah, that's it. Just wanted to go ahead and chop it up with you guys real quick. And yeah, go Jets. I'm going to try to get on a lot more. Appreciate the love. I'm trying to be doing this a lot more now. I'm back. I finally got my setup the way I want to. It's a lot quicker. There's no more Taco Tuesdays with Gunny, because I think that's what caused me to kind of fall off when we were doing that. Making the tacos, recording that, editing the video, then getting in front of you. It was a lot, man. It was a lot. This is a lot easier. Jumping on, talking football with you guys, chopping it up, just getting right to the point. So I appreciate the love. You'll be seeing a lot more of me. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to the channel. There's going to be a lot of giveaways that I do this coming season. So again, you won't know about them unless you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. I did a lot of giveaways last year. You can see some of the reactions from individuals, not only from on my channel, but you can see them on Twitter as well. So if you're watching on Twitter, go ahead and jump off real quick, get on YouTube, go ahead and like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. It helps the channel grow. Trying to go ahead and get my name back out there, because it's been a while since I've actually put in enough effort to get your attention. So I appreciate the real ones, man, for joining me and just chopping up with this breaking news. But I was only going to do a 10-minute video. I saw a lot of y'all jump on real quick just to watch, so I felt like I had to kind of, engage with you guys significantly more. Appreciate the love. Till next time. Yeah. Till next time, go Jets.
I can do it all, I will never fall. It's the Renaissance, you know that I got the mother sauce, man. You know I'm the boss, I know what it costs. Have you what I lost? I'm so versatile, yeah, I'm a Renaissance, man. I can do it all, I will never fall. It's the Renaissance, you know that I got the mother sauce, man. You know I'm the boss, I know what it costs. Have you what I lost? I'm so versatile, yeah, I'm a Renaissance, man.
Congratulations, brother.
And here we